Hey guys, welcome. Fedora Friday number 26. Fedora Friday number 26. Hopefully you guys are having a great week. If you get an early start to your to your weekend, well, fantastic. But yeah, basically, this is going to be a little bit different, right? So, we talked about this before that at some point we were going to just kind of make a little bit of a transition away from just focusing on films, maybe talking about just all aspects of hack culture, especially pop culture, to include just actors themselves, as well as musicians. And we got my man Nathan. Nathan, how's it going, man?
Hey, Luke, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear.
Good.
How
How
you
are
doing, my
you?
friend?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
All right,
Man,
all right.
I've had this sinus congestion allergy. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I was thinking back at Tuesday's stream. I don't know. But anyway, the last like 72 hours have just been muscling through it. So that's what we do, right? We just kind of push
Understood.
through. How you been?
Pretty good, pretty good. I was just talking about like today's show, and this will probably end up being fairly quick. I don't know. I mean, I try to get it always seems like I gather up around 30 or so still photos. Obviously, with somebody like Johnny Depp, you're like, wow, I could be here forever and never run out of photos, because he's just one of those guys that just seemingly always has some kind of hat on. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be worried about being comprehensive. Really, I just wanted folks that maybe weren't as familiar to kind of get a sampling of some of the hats that he's been out in public with, and a little bit a little bit about his style from what I know, because I'm no fashion expert. But this is one of those iconic actors, right? We kind of knew him from 21 Jump Street. At least I did, growing up in the I guess late 80s, I want to say. Um,
Right.
and it's one of those iconic shows, and then obviously all the great films. Donnie Brasco. I don't know if we've covered Donnie Brasco on here, but we did do Public Enemies. And Public Enemies was a movie recommended by Ian, one of our faithful moderators, and it's my most viewed video on this channel. I think it's up over 2,500 views.
Wow.
For a small channel like this, 2,500 views. That's like, that's like viral to me.
Yeah,
Um,
do you remember oh my gosh, I don't know if the name of the movie was Crybaby, but
yeah, Crybaby.
was that what it was?
Yes, that was him. Yeah, he played a greaser. Yeah, uh, yeah, that was kind of an interesting, like very kind of in some ways comedic,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh, comedic and also musical. Um,
Right.
yeah, Johnny Depp's an interesting guy. He's one of those guys that like obviously has like a mysterious look about him, and obviously he had a very very well publicized divorce. And that actually his divorce proceedings took place here locally in Northern Virginia.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so he was cited about town. Obviously, it wasn't his finest moment. A lot of that got really
Right.
messy.
Yeah.
But you did get to see some of the hats, and obviously you got to know some of his backstory. He obviously came from a very tumultuous household. I think his mom was abusive of himself and some of his siblings. And who knows, maybe that could explain some of the hat, right? We talked about that sometimes that hat can serve as almost like an emotional support object, right? And who knows, maybe that's at least one of the reasons to explain why he gravitated towards hats and why he feels so comfortable out in public while wearing a fine hat. And so yeah, I'll go and I'll throw some of these slides up there. And
Yeah, let's get into it.
yeah, yeah.
Take a deep dive into the Depp universe.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is like one of his signatures. And the way I understand it, based on my research, I'm no expert on Borsellino, but my understanding is he's a huge fan of Borsellino, especially the Alessandria model.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be my best guess here, because it kind of looks like the Alessandria based on my limited knowledge. You can see the way he wears this, like it has that super high crown, right? He's kind of got a little bit of a, I don't know, it's a weird angle, and it could just be the way this is photographed. But Johnny Depp has been photographed wearing his hats in a variety of different ways, and let's be honest, the guy is, he started off as a musician. That should be no surprise to anybody. He has a very rocker type of aesthetic,
Yeah,
and
I wonder if he does.
yeah.
I mean, at his status, he probably has a lot of hats made for him.
Yeah, it's very
But
possible. Yeah.
this definitely looks
I
like an open crown, like it was hand formed for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and with Borsellino, that's one of the signatures of a lot of their hats as well. Is that it's a very, very pliable felt, right? It's very, very easy to bash, dry bash even. So this one could be handmade. It could be a Borsellino. Again, for those folks that know, feel free to chime in. But the way I understand, I know I've seen this model hat on him numerous times, and he actually has a variety of different looks, right? So like for me, if I were to describe Johnny Depp, I'd go first like a rocker style aesthetic, a rocker hippie type of aesthetic, and he also has like a classic aesthetic as well, and sometimes he kind of mixes them as well. He just has like so many different things. He's like one of those guys that's very bold and is not scared to wear anything. And it usually ends up looking good. Like he's like, I couldn't pull that off, but he can.
Yeah, even the brim on this, I'm guessing it's probably bigger than 2 3/4, but it's definitely like a flop. This is like a floppy brim kind of shapeless crown. It's just not. It's not that like picture perfect cookie cutter lid he's got on today. Yeah.
Correct. And somebody, I think it was on Hats and Guitars, posted a photo of Johnny Depp and was talking about his unique brim angles. And I'm assuming that that's part of, like I said, the fearlessness, and, let's be honest, like we know that this man has a lot of hats. We've seen so many hats on this gentleman. And maybe this is another way to kind of stand out, right? I think that's part of like that rocker aesthetic, to kind of go out there and be fearless and not be afraid. I've even seen him take the hat and put it on backwards, where he's got the back of the hat in front. Wow. And I'm like, wow. Again, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, but he somehow makes it look okay. It's like
he's like next level hat confidence, man.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, like we talked about as well, is like just to wear a fine hat, period, it takes a little bit of confidence, but Johnny Depp just takes it to that extra level. And then obviously, to go along with that hat aesthetic, he almost always has some kind of like, it almost seems like shades, like aviator glasses. Sometimes, I've seen them a lot with a blue tint. So, and in a variety of like scarves, right? Which I connote with somebody like Steven Tyler, that rock and roll aesthetic. And it just works, It seems like when I heard that he was a musician first, I didn't know that up to recently. It just made sense because the guy, like, he dresses like a rock star.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's his next? Okay,
so this is another. This might even be the same model, but it's kind of like more of a straight looking brim, but in a blue felt. But again, you can see the scarf that we were talking about. He has some kind of a shirt there that looks like it has a Western pattern on there. It works very well with him, and he has usually he has this like longer hair. And I don't know, if I were to go and I was his frame, I'd be like, well, maybe this hat's a little big. But again, he always pulls it off. I don't know how big he is. Doesn't seem like a big guy. He's certainly a very, very slim figure, at least at when in his peak form.
Definitely hand shaped. Looking at that 2 3/4 to 3-inch brim, flat. Yeah. He's got the whole Navy vibe going on. His glasses, everything.
Yeah, and this is another, like, those round glasses. Besides the aviator, he has these kind of roundish frames usually, and some kind of blue tint. And I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, for the most part, and then we'll see a variety of different hats, right? So I started off with the fedoras, but we'll see some more photos here, and hopefully this will be like useful for those folks that are looking at for color combinations, as well as maybe focusing on new styles. If this is indeed the Alessandria model, I can understand why folks like it so much, right? It's got that high crown. It has kind of like that kind of almost gangster aesthetic, but again, it could be very fashionable. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate the brim because actually when I got on, my hat was still a little bit warm. I just got it off the Well, I just boiled some water, and I don't have a steamer or anything, but
Yeah,
I've been wearing this one with the brim, the front down, and I've been wearing it with suits,
yeah,
and it was more of kind of a dressy,
yeah,
and so I thought let me wear. I haven't worn it in a few days or a while,
yeah. That's the
and
J Murphy and Son Strat, right?
yeah, it is. So I
Yeah,
wore it to work, and down looks fine, but I was like, just a little dressy, and I wanted more of a casual look. So
yeah,
and
yeah. I love
I
it.
boiled some water, and it just flopped right back up into place like it was made. And
Yeah,
I think like this, it's more kind of a crossover Western look than with the
yeah.
brim down. So I
Correct.
appreciate
Yeah,
Depp. I think we'll see probably all these different brim down, up, wavy,
correct.
backwards. Like he takes it to the full extreme for sure.
Correct, correct. And coincidentally, or not coincidentally, I don't know, depending on how you view it. But this was kind of like I was like, this is one of those. I was looking at like, all right, which one kind of gives me Johnny Depp vibes? I also grabbed my PJ Murphy and Son Strat. This
Yeah,
is ebony and ivory, and
nice.
I was like, okay, this is again with the high crown. I felt a little bit more Johnny Deppish in this one.
Yeah, there you go.
Paul. We tip the caps to you, twin PJ Murphy and Sons, thanks to Paul. Um, but yeah, just keep going. This might. I don't think this one looks blackish. It could be the same one that we just saw in a different light. But again, you can see he's pairing it with a bandana this time, another kind of aviator style shades. And you can see he kind of likes that brim trim as well.
Yeah.
This one kind of looks in a little bit closer to kind of maybe like the Stratoliner, but again, I think this might also be a Borsellino Alessandria.
Yeah, this is definitely like a wide brim trim on there.
Yeah,
It's not. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It almost doesn't look like completely flat. It's
correct,
almost like just a slight downward brim.
correct, correct. I agree, and it's one of those things where, like I said, just like you mentioned, Nathan, like he really does experiment with a lot of different shapes, on the very same fedora. Because there's a few fedoras that you'll see, or a few hats that you see like, okay, that's got to be the same hat, but there's something different about it, and it's usually the brim, or it'll be the same hat, but at one time it's distressed. Whereas when you see it before, it wasn't distressed. So you can see he's probably making alterations, unless he has multiple versions of the same hat, which is very possible with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it just goes to show you, like, this guy, it could be a function of mood. He's like, hey, this is the kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah,
And we'll
for sure.
get to some of the distress stuff in a little bit.
And does he have a headband on under?
Yeah, he's got a bandana on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, very, we know him as Jack Sparrow, so we're no strangers to seeing this man in a bandana. Yeah. And again, I think of that as a very like rocker aesthetic, maybe a hippie kind of aesthetic that he seems to favor.
Yeah, I've seen recently, I think it's Billy Bob Thornton. I think he's recently been out in public with kind of a bandana and then a hat on top. But
yeah,
he would be an interesting one too.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton, definitely. I know I've seen him out in a variety of hats, and he kind of also has like a love for the high crown as well. And Landman is a show that I got on my radar. So yeah, Billy Bob Thornton definitely is going to come on in one capacity or the other here. So yeah,
Nice.
Let's see here. This is kind of a more squarish. Yeah, look, at least this is maybe it could be the angle. But to give you again more of the aviator, he also, I think one thing that I noticed in some of these photos, he does like pinstripes a lot. So you definitely do see that pattern. So he is a guy.
This is almost Stratoliner like. I mean, the teardrop.
Correct.
That's probably a 2.5 inch brim.
Yeah.
It doesn't look quite as wide as the other ones.
Correct.
The hat ribbon is right in line with what was Stratoliner would kind of be like. So
yeah, and this one could be the strap, the Alessandra, because I think the ribbon style for the Alessandra actually is this thin ribbon that we see here on the strats that we have. So,
Okay.
so yeah, this one might be the Alessandria. So yeah, again, no expert on Borsalino, but you guys that know can chime in if you'd like. But I'll just keep running through, and you can see here now some of the distressed, right? So he has a very, very similar kind of hat that we've seen before, but look at the distressing on the front of that crown there.
Oh, he's got holes in it and all. Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah, and it still looks appropriate, right? Like we talked about that when we watched Lawless, right? When we had Shia LaBeouf's character, and he had a Hamburg that had the distressing, and it still looked right. It still looked okay, So it's the power of, like I said, that confidence, as well as the fact that these hats, it's hard to make them look bad.
And he looks a little bit younger, but he's obviously at a some kind of event because you see all the photographers behind him, and then his partner there is dressed,
Yeah, that's
up as well.
yeah,
So
that is Penelope Cruz, and I think she did the movie Blow, with him. That was a very well-known role that he had. Again, this is one of those things, and like I said, you can see, and I don't know if I have any of the photos, but besides the fact that he, that he favors the fedoras and the bandanas and then the aviators, he's also known for his leather jacket game, right? Really big into leather jacket, leather and suede, right? He usually has some very distressed looking footwear as well, like very well worn leather. And, you don't see him as often with ties, but he prefers the bolo, right? The bolo tie, which is again a very Western looking aesthetic. So you can see some of the influences, and like I said, he just pulls it off and always looks pretty good.
Where is he from? What part of the country is he from?
He's from Kentucky. I think he was born in Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe, according to him and some of the stuff that I've read, he does have a little bit of a Native American background as well. So I think French, English, and Native American. So he has kind of like that, and you can kind of see in some of the features as well. Man, he smokes like a chimney as well. He's one of the doesn't apologize for how much he smokes, and he's like, he just loves smoking. So
I know from the trial he drinks a lot of wine, but I bet he likes bourbon.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that he is somebody that favors bourbon as well.
From
Again,
Kentucky.
if you guys in the audience know, then definitely chime in. This is an interesting one. This one is definitely oversized.
Look at the crown on this one.
Yeah,
wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Jeez.
Yeah, like that almost in many ways it kind of looks like a maybe Wicked Witch.
That's a good like over 3-inch crown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brim. And the crown, man, I don't know. What is that? Is that 7-inch crown, 8-inch crown? Yes.
Yeah, it's something pretty large. And like I said, it looks like it's got a center dent, and we don't get the full hat in this photo. But yeah, it just goes to show you. And he's got again, the brim looks almost like it's tilted down, right? And all the way around. Like if I had to guess, I say that thing is tilted down all the way around the head. I don't know. Like I said,
Wicked Witch of the East or something here, man.
Yeah, you get again with the variety, you get a lot of variety, and some of it's like, yep, I'll never dream to pull that off, but you love that this man can go ahead and do it. And this is kind of like
more traditional,
yeah. This is again one of his signatures, and this one might also be an Alessandria model. You got those two front dents, right? Very Indiana Jones ish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely. I could see him kind of riding into like an old Western town. He's got some. He's more of a higher in the hierarchy of the wealth category. Something like that for sure.
Yeah, he just seems like he could blend in somehow, some way in most places, and I think he actually lives in Europe nowadays. And again, who knows? That might be part of like some of that aesthetic that we see when he's out there, like really dressed to the nines, and like kind of like an Italian style aesthetic that he has in some of his photos. But usually, it's not in a hat. At least the one that I've seen, he's like without the hat. So
now I can't tell from this one, but it looks like the other ones all had brim trim,
Correct.
But and maybe he does have brim trim on this, but it might be blended into the color of the coffee color he's got going on.
Yeah, yeah. And assuming these are Borsalinos, then you're gonna see, and that's why you're seeing a lot of them in that kind of the classic conservative colors, your blacks,
Yeah.
your browns, and even your blues. So you're seeing a lot more of the traditional ones. So these could be those Borsalinos. And I'm trying to remember if I don't really see a ton of Borsalinos with brim trim. But you do see them out there. I think the one that Kevin wears, his mint green Borsalino.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one has brim trim, right? Because he produces those now. It's known as the Sky Piece, but it was inspired by the Borsalino that he had when he first started the channel. So yeah.
Yeah, did you see that new Reddington that he released yesterday?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, that thing is beautiful. It's that show. Oh my gosh, with James Spader. Lucas escaping my brain right now. But anyway, he plays the character Reddington.
Okay.
And it's like a chocolate. It's a beautiful hat that he's calling it the Reddington. I think it's like a 2.25 brim, 5-inch crown. I think raw edge. Yeah, check it out. He just released it yesterday. So. Jedi saw it this morning. Okay.
And it says the Black Lost. Or the Blacklist. The Blacklist.
The Blacklist. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to Kevin, going out there and producing some new styles and models for the fans to kick in. And
Jedi, what is the name of that show? Is that so? He just named it the Blacklist. That's what it was, right? Okay, the Blacklist. Okay,
the Blacklist. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. He says it's 2.25.
2.25. Yeah. But the color that Depp is wearing here is the color that he released yesterday. It was like a chocolate brown, and it's a beautiful, beautiful hat.
Love it. Shout out to Kevin. Hopefully we'll get him on the show one day. But yeah, again. This one has a more Western aesthetic to it. And again, this one could already be the same hat. He's just wearing it slightly different, right? You can see the brim treatment here. It looks like almost like he's got one side of the brim down. And it just gives it, to me, a more Western aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure. And he almost has that Doc Holliday, I think, might have that kind of brim that's that one side treatment.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, good pull there. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Doc Holliday. What a classic character, man.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer. So yeah, that
might be on that might need to be a Fedora Friday tombstone. Man, that's some good looking hats in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tombstone has definitely been on the radar. I haven't gotten to that yet, but yeah, what a classic movie. Yeah. I'm definitely that one's gonna get some priority because that one's way too good. I love a good.
Is that a double-decker ribbon on there?
It does look like a double-decker ribbon there, and I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
It's a raw edge too.
Interesting, and it's definitely distressed, right? So we saw that, and we'll show some more distressed hats. You don't see it as often with him with the fedoras, but you do see it. But a lot more of his kind of Western style hats. He definitely favors the distressing, and man, it still looks good,
Yeah, he has as many hats as everybody else has shirts because it seems like he just puts them together so well.
Yeah, what his outfit count is, like I said, between all the hats and obviously the accessories, right? Besides the glasses and the scarves, he's always got some kind of like jewelry and these bracelets that he favors. The guy goes out well accessorized,
Nice.
Let's see here. Again, this is kind of a little bit more casual look out there, a little bit more. This might actually be the same hat we saw just a little bit ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's check that out.
Let's see here. Again, this is.
I think it is. Yeah, it is very distressed.
Yep. And it looks like he's got a bandana on as well.
Yeah.
A blue bandana. And that's one of those color combinations that always seems to work well, you know, that maybe some folks know, but maybe not others. Blue and brown, I think, is a classic combo. If you need to mix, you know, maybe you have a navy blue suit, pairing it with a brown fedora definitely is a good look.
Camo, got the camo going on. Yeah, everything matching. He's always matching.
Man. Yeah. And you could see, like I said, some of the accessories he has that kind of hippie aesthetic. I call like maybe a hippie Western. I don't know. Again, I don't know how I would describe it, but it feels like those are at least two words that should be in the conversation with discussing like his overall style. And you can see the round glasses as well with the blue tint. That definitely a pattern here. Jedi says, I'm okay with actual distressed, well-traveled hats and accessories, but I don't understand buying something new that's already distressed. Yeah, I understand that. You know, it's one of those things where, I personally wouldn't go off and buy something that's already distressed. You know, I know I that was something, the distressed jean look was very big. I forget, I want to say it was in the 80s. You know, and I know it's one of those things where it's like, for some folks, it never goes out of style. Maybe for jeans, maybe it would be something that you would want to do because, well, you can try them on, and if they're not distressed the right way, you can put it back. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely know that a lot of folks probably feel the same way. They're like, if it gets that way in the course of usage, then it's cool. Otherwise, don't buy it that way. I can completely understand.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same category.
Yeah,
you know, not really buying a lot of distressed, you know, off the shelf stuff, I guess.
Yeah, Depp might be really distressed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe with the quantity that he has, it's kind of hard to think that he wears any hat that often, but it could very well be. You know,
yeah, I agree.
The guy kind of, like I said, he's known for living a pretty like a hard lifestyle. So, right. Keith Richards comes to mind.
I agree with that. I doubt that it's been naturally distressed, because I think everything he wears is very much on purpose.
On purpose, correct. Agreed.
Correct. Yeah. So
agreed. And this is kind of like one of the lighter felt colors, and this one's like a very kind of clean looking photo. Wow, it looks I don't know if this is from a movie or not, but you can see that brim trim, right? You can see that again. That same aesthetic. This is kind of a matching. Well, maybe it's not matching. Maybe it's kind of like an olive kind of trim. But it looks really elegant.
There's definitely some olive undertones in that band and the binding too. But you see that, but it's kind of olive undertone in that.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And like in the jacket, I mean, you don't really get a whole shot here of the blazer he's got on. It looks like a blazer, but it does have like an olive kind of tint to it. Man, I mean, this just looks really elegant.
Yeah.
This is more of that same photo from the distressed, right? From a different angle. See here. And you get here, again, this is another one of his classic looks. This might be the Alessandria, again, with that brim treatment. You know, he's got, again, he has a different angle seemingly for every shot.
I tell you, it's so close to Rocky's brim treatment. There in the front, you know, you kind of
agreed.
It's a little bigger brim, but and is there a pin on the side of that hat there?
It does look like a hat pin. Let's see if I can.
What that is?
I don't know. It kind of almost looks like a starfish in a way.
Yeah, something on there.
Yeah, but
I like the color there. It's very similar to the one I got on. It's kind of a kind of a gray caribou almost color.
Yeah, agreed. And you can see more of the pinstripes that he favors or seemingly favors. And here you get, this one kind of looks like that distressed hat that he had that we saw.
He likes that hat, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see it has like that, again, it has a brim treatment. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is just kind of like because you can look at the back of the brim here and it looks different than brim trim. Or it could just be brim trim that's a little frayed.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's coming off or something. It's
correct.
Yeah, they did a number on this deal.
Yeah, and you can see, like I said, he pulls off like I guess, I don't know, a bohemian. Maybe that's the term, right? It's like this guy's obviously well-to-do, but he looks like he may not necessarily be,
Yeah.
which, I think it's cool. Like I said, it's a very, very rocker, I think, aesthetic.
Yeah.
You can see here, kind of looks a little bit more like Indiana Jones here in this photo.
Yeah.
And I think
Got
this
the
is
leather.
another one with Penelope Cruz.
He's got the leather going on there. Yeah.
Yep, and pinstripe pants. And he looks like he's got a bandana in his hand, and then of course like a kind of a kerchief, right?
Yeah, definitely like an Indiana Jones brim.
Yeah,
kind of the back, everything just kind of pulled down.
Yeah, and he also really does like. I mean, I've noticed this in other photos that I've seen of like the pocket watch. So you can see here his vest, right?
Oh, okay.
He does like his vest, and you will see that a lot of times you will see him pairing that vest with a pocket watch, with that long chain. Looks really cool. I think it looks really elegant. Kind of reminds me of maybe like that Public Enemies kind of look, right?
I tell you what, man, I put on a vest. My wife and I were out recently. I put on a vest, and the look on her face was not good, so I had to take it off immediately.
Yeah,
but I'm like, man, I want to try to pull off a vest, because I mean I wear a suit, a few times a week.
Yeah,
but I don't have a vest. So yeah, I mean I just haven't. It's kind of like wearing a hat for the first time. It's like, do I kind of pull it off or not? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough when when the wife doesn't approve.
Yeah.
And and yeah, silvery. Yeah, it could be silvery, that color. But yeah, the vest, I think the open road and the vest is a sharp looking. In my brain, you said the vest, I immediately thought about the open road that you have. I think that's a good combo. So maybe try that with the open road if you want to go and give it a try.
I'll give it a try, man. It's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah, no, understood. Like I said, when the significant other doesn't give their approval, it's really tough, because it's like, man. But hey, don't give up. Same look, different angle. You can see that size of that hat, right? Of that crown. He's not a big guy, but he pulls it off. And then again, the leather jacket game is pretty strong as well. Kind of a cross zip leather jacket there.
Very, very intentional for sure.
Yeah. This is kind of like a ginormous Hamburg.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, even like almost like a pencil curl.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. That's a big brim.
That's a ginormous brim, and like the jacket looks oversized. Obviously he's got the scarf. He's got the blue shade, the blue aviators, with the blue tint. Again, another one of kind of his signature looks. And you can see the guy's not scared to pull anything off, man. I mean, it works. I don't know if I could pull it off, but Johnny Depp can.
If I showed up like that, they'd say, what costume party are you going to?
Well, right. Like I said, when I see this, I immediately think of somebody like Steven Tyler, right? Like Steven Tyler would wear stuff like this.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, shout out to Steven Tyler. This is a little bit more of his Western. This is one of those hats that I've seen lots of photos of, and you can see like the brim is like torn, right? You can see the top of it is distressed as well. But it's still, like I said, it's kind of like a Western hippie. I don't know how else. That's how I describe this look. Western,
yeah, for sure. Definitely custom made. I mean, this is several layers on the hat ribbon. Yeah. Looks like at least 3 there. But yeah, I mean that's.
And that pattern,
I wonder who made that.
Yeah, that pattern definitely has kind of like that Western festival.
Yeah, the Southwest kind of Southwest look, right?
Yeah, correct.
Turquoise, yeah.
Correct. And then obviously look at all the accessories, right? It's got the beads and all that around. Like again, I think it's a very rustic look. Rustic hippie, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if this is the same hat. This one,
I think it is.
Same style, but it looks brownish in this photo. But this is probably the same hat.
Yeah, the brim or the crown hat ribbon looks the same. It looks like the front's kind of pulled down more.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
as well with the denim.
Yeah, he's just again fearless, and he's got the bandana underneath, the blue bandana. Yeah, again, classic Johnny Depp.
So I'm assuming he gets his sized for his head, but some are sized for the bandana.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Yeah.
And my guess, like I said, given like how the variety of like angles that he plays around with, I'd imagine that, you know, he has to have a little bit of room in there to be able to do what he wants to do to pull off some of this stuff. But yeah, man, just amazing in terms of like stuff like ideas and things like that. I wonder like how many folks, you know, how many hat makers just try to reach out to say, hey, can I make you something, you know?
Oh man, that's money in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Can you imagine? Like I said, that might have happened with this hat. Like I said, this is a little out there. I don't think I've seen anything quite like this. And it, you know, I'm like, I would even have dreamt it up, but I'm like, it kind of works. That's what you got to love about fashion and things like that. Like Johnny Depp is like the perfect like person you want kind of rocking your stuff, you know. And this again looks like a very similar style hat, but not distressed. So you can see he does favor this kind of I guess more rustic, again, rustic hippie aesthetic.
Yeah.
And he, again, more vests, and obviously just the accessories all around, you know.
This hat, I mean, it almost looks like just like the hat body. Like
Yeah,
not even a lot of treatment's been done to this hat body at all.
right,
Probably just cutting the brim, but because
correct.
it still looks like a lot of like it hasn't been pounced.
Yeah, it almost
Yeah,
looks
this is,
crushable. Like this could be
yeah.
one of those like crushable, like you know, style hats. You know, it could be crushable wool or something. I don't know. But you know, like I said, he definitely, you can already tell that he favors this kind of the style in addition to like his, you know, his Alessandro, his Borsalinos.
Yeah.
This more rustic looking style is definitely one of the things that he likes. Pulls it off pretty well. We'll keep going here because again, we'll see that same hat. And it might not be the same. Like it doesn't look like it has the ripped brim on in this particular angle, but maybe that's just
It's hard,
the angle
hard
they
to
took
see
it at.
there.
Yeah. It's a little hard to see, but you know, you could definitely see this distressing here. This one was taken, I think I got this one from the Fedora Lounge. The gentleman here actually posted this. He met Johnny Depp and posted this photo. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know.
Yeah.
This is a distressed fedora. Again, got the
before,
brim down. You got the brim premium, and look at that brim angle. Like I don't even know how to describe that brim angle. It's
he's
almost
got
like
just the flipped up right there, right? Just the front of it.
Yeah, but like the very edge of it is flipped up. Like you see this. Let's see. I don't know if it comes across very well.
Now
here.
that's a rocky brim right there.
Yeah, but not even. I don't even know rock. It would even describe like it's like the very. It's like he took the very tip of the hat and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's
you
barely
gotta, like,
past the ribbon, just barely past the brim ribbon.
correct. But you definitely get the brim trim there, you know, in that angle. But like I said, it's like an angle that, like I said, I would have never even thought of that was possible unless you like really treated it with, you know, maybe some shellac or whatever, you know, stiffener.
Yeah, that had to have been steamed, right? That had to have been that was a
steamed.
treatment done on that to get that
To make it
specific look like that.
Yeah, it's a very unnatural. Like you would have to have sat on it and have it this angle, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, I don't. For me, like that maybe that would be too much. Like my OCD would kick in if I had one of my hats like that. But hey,
if you show up like that, they're gonna be like, "Man, what happened to your hat?"
Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, do you get hit by a train? You know, and I'm like, well, it's like, no, I'm just trying to be Johnny Depp. No,
see, that's the same hat. That's the same hat, but not with that treatment done. So
yeah, I don't even know. It's difficult to tell at this angle, but like I said, it's also like you can see here, like it's like misshapen. So maybe it does. Maybe it does have that same. It's that same fedora and the same treatment. It's just the photo doesn't capture, right? Like I can see.
Oh, I do see. I do see it. Yeah,
it's just a little lip. The very like the right. I guess on his right, the lip of the brim is curled up.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's
see it.
It's really cool. Like I said, I never even knew that was a thing until I saw it. So
he's a trendsetter, man.
Yeah. And like I said, the trademark round glasses. What else can you say? This is a different distressed fedora. Man, this one's like really.
This is one that we haven't seen so far.
Yeah, this one was distressed and it was sat on, I
Oh
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's younger in this one too. So
Yeah, yeah, and like it does look like it does have some brim trim here. This one just looks like, again, kind of bohemian, like
yeah.
I won't even say hobo, like style, but
Huh.
hey, you know,
And he's got like a kind of a camel suede almost. What is he wearing?
yeah, it's like a camel would probably be the right term.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, and then you can see he has kind of like a suede jacket here, that matches with the ribbon. That I love the colors. I don't know if I would love this hat per se, the way it looks, like meaning personally,
Yeah,
but it definitely is combined well color wise.
yeah. Because I think in some outfits, the hat would almost look too yellow. But
Yeah,
the way he's got it toned, it looks good.
yeah, correct. I do
Yeah.
favor, like I love the color camel, like a camel tan combination. And yeah, like I said, I really
It's
love
almost like
those colors.
a sand color.
Yeah, sand. Yeah, that's yeah, yeah. And then, moving away from the fedoras, we see that he's also a big
Oh
fan
yeah,
of the newsboy flat
yeah,
cap. Flat
yeah.
caps in general, but the newsboy seems to be one of his favorites. And again, he does, like, it looks looks really good. Very
Looks like a
like
painter.
or hip or hipster.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Now the newsboy, that's kind of like the baggy flat caps, right?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of baggy, baggy side.
Yeah, and I'm no expert on the flat cap. I just recently got into them, but yeah, the Newsboy definitely has that kind of like baggier look.
Yeah.
And this one looks like it might be a canvas one, but again, you can see that jacket that he's wearing is pinstriped. I don't know. This is just, again, this guy has like just dresses like a star, right? I mean, he is
Yeah.
a star, but just certainly dresses like a rock star.
Hey, Luke, I'm gonna get back to let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna split and yeah, keep going though. It's fun to kind of get through these hats and yeah, this is a good little deal. It's a little different break from like the films
In
and
the film.
shows. So
Yeah, my
yeah, because
pleasure.
there's a lot of big names that sport hats and are good spokesmen for the hobby for the headwear. So
Yeah. My pleasure, my friend. Well, thanks for joining us. You have a great day. Feel better. Hopefully, you're on the mend very soon. And in the meantime, stay hatty, my friend.
you as well.
All right. Take it easy, Nathan. Nathan Tuck. Thanks for joining us. We just got a few more photos. I just want to get through some of the flat caps. Again, it seems like the Newsboy is like the flat cap, the preferred flat cap by Johnny Depp. And if you've been keeping up with the channel, you guys know that I've been wearing a lot more flat caps lately. But just I'm not an expert, but this at least gives me some some I guess some ideas, right, in terms of what to look out for. This one's kind of like a backwards flat cap. It's hard to tell what style he's wearing here, but you get a little bit of his passion for accessories, right? He's got a watch, and he's got like a kind of a bracelet, leather bracelet on the other arm. Definitely lots of rings, and then you can see the vest in here, and you can see that shirt that he's wearing. That's another thing that he actually favors, is these like one-piece collars, right? Where like it's like a seamless collar, and I think it's a very European style collar. But you guys that are more in the know could probably tell me. But it looks really good. Like I don't have any shirts like that, and I don't know what one would cost. I'm assuming it probably cost a pretty penny. But man, does it look really good. And you can see he wears that a lot when he wears the suits. You'll see that kind of a one-piece collar that flows up. It really is a very flattering look, right? When it's kind of like, I guess, frayed or flay. I don't know what the term would be, but you know what I'm trying to say, when it's laid out flat. So yeah. Again, another kind of newsboy. He has kind of like a big thing with the newsboy cap. I think it looks really good, especially with those round glasses that he tends to wear. So, and you can see that collar. This is kind of more like a jean jacket with the pop collar and the scarf. So Again, very rock star look. More flat caps, again, paired with a scarf, and wouldn't you know it, a vest. Right, and you can see that he does okay with like not matching his his handkerchief there to the rest of his accessories. It's one of those things where if you're Johnny Depp, you can do that, no problem. Here he's got some aviator sunglasses and and kind of a casual suit look. I Again, really elegant. I don't know. This kind of looks like a red carpet kind of deal, but I do like this black newsboy. It's another kind of newsboy looking kind of flat cap here, kind of that pinstripe. Again, this guy really likes pinstripes, and I do too. I don't think I have anywhere near as many pinstripe things, but I do like the pinstripes. And this is what's known as a Baker Boy flat cap. I'm not as familiar with this hat style, but that's what this is called apparently. I don't know what the origin is of the Baker Boy, but if you guys know, you guys can chime in. But kind of looks kind of cool here, and you can see here like this little pattern here right underneath. Right, you can see the button here, and it kind of almost kind of looks like a Greek fisherman's cap, right? So I don't know how related the Baker Boy flat cap is to the Greek fisherman hat. Kind of looks similar to me, or like those like motorcycle style, right? Hats. So anyway, again, I'm no expert on well basically anything. So you guys can chime in if you guys know the answer. And besides the flat caps, he also had a thing for berets and for knit caps, right? So you can see, this guy has a very diverse set of headwear that he likes to wear. You don't see as many berets, but he does like the beret. And as you can see here, a very kind of hippie, grunge looking style for knit caps. It really does go well with some of the flannel and things that he wears that kind of makes him look more grunge / hippie. You can see here, this one looks like a kind of an older photo. He's got longer hair, kind of more youthful look. Definitely very grunge looking, Again, he was a musician, or I guess still is a musician. I don't think one ceases to become a musician. But yeah, you can see some of the stuff that he favors. And this is the last one. This is kind of like, I don't know, like more of a beret, knit cap, I don't know, or knit beret. I don't know what you would call this, but again, he always pulls it off. And you can see the vest here as well. Obviously, very heavily tatted guy. And I think that's the last photo I have here. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, there's no way I was gonna cover all the hats and the hat styles of Johnny Depp. He's an iconic actor, and now, kind of an iconic just hat ambassador, right? I think he's one of those folks that in modern day, there's very few people you probably would put in as more of a hat person. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and a little bit of a break from the movies. We will get some more movies. Tombstone will be coming up at some point soon. And until then, you know how I'm going to leave you, right? Support the good folks at the Good Looks Network. Support the good hat folks outside of the Good Looks Network. But even if you don't, right? You know where I'm going to leave you. Even if you don't support any of these fine folks, the one thing you got to do, or else we'll get Edward Scissorhands after you, right? And he won't hurt you, at least not, on purpose, right? He'll just take his little scissor hand and go boop and hit that subscribe button, right? But until then, the one thing you got to do is you got to stay hatting, my friend. Have a great day. Ciao, everybody. Ciao.